Hey, what's going on, everybody? Kellen Cash here with another work break conversation. You know, conversation rules the nation. Today, we are going to talk about how you break up with a client or how that relationship kind of may dissolve just naturally. Sometimes it's because your contract is up. Sometimes it's because the client could run out of money. Sometimes it could be, maybe something with not a good fit. The client expected a service that was not in the contract. And let's talk about why contracts are just so important. We thank everyone for listening to Work Break Conversation. Hey, Patrick Thomas, my brother, my big little brother, just joined in. And we appreciate everyone else who will tune in live. But how to break up, dissolve that relationship. Remember that in business, these relationships are not marriage. Marriage is something that you tied into, that you said you're going to do forever. But these, when it comes to clients come, clients go. Now, if you have a real good system in how you get the client to business and onboarded, then you are going to have a better retention rate and be able to keep your clients for a longer time, maybe even a lifetime, even when you guys both go and the companies keep going. That's always the goal. How can we keep this conversation and this relationship together? But we have to know that we have to have our systems in place. Everybody needs to be clear on what their job is, their duty is. Now, for the client, for us, it's that you're going to pay, that you're going to give us whatever we've put in the contract. Maybe it's the material so we can create that social content, so we know what your numbers are, so we can make you some money. That's always a good thing, right? For us who are giving out the services, we need to make sure that our services are something that the client needs, because clients' needs can change, and you can start doing one thing and then you can develop and do 10 things, 20 things and more. And I tell everyone, I start in the PR realm, but really it's the consulting is what the clients need from CPRfirm.com more than anything, because they need to do more than just getting in the media. They need to know how that relationship works, in their advertising, in their marketing, and all that good stuff. So while I'm here, I got the baby and the angel back. If you guys are watching on video, it's let's get into this. So how to the breakup, because let's say a client can't pay. You let that client know from the beginning of their first late payment. Don't do an extension. It's not going to work. You let them know you haven't paid the money per the agreement that we set. We need to dissolve and put this on pause until your budget comes back. You do that for a few reasons. If you keep the client going and say, oh, I'm going to work with you, I'm going to work with you, now the client, and this is a 10 out of 10 chance, it's not a 9 out of 9, that client is going to see that as a weakness. And every time they have an emergency in their business or in their personal life, they are then going to say, hey, you're the last one we're going to pay. And this happens whether it's the government, whether it's anything, because the government, the first services they cut off are the social media, the advertising, the marketing. That's just how it goes. So you can't show that weakness, and also you don't want them to expect anything from you, because let's say they say, okay, I'll pay you in 60 days, right? 30 days, whatever. They now are going to still expect you to work hard, because to them, they're going to take it as a debt, and that they're eventually going to pay you, even though they don't have the money now. But even more important than that, they aren't giving you the tools so you can do what you need to do. You act like this software is free. You act like man labor is free. Now, it depends if you're a one-person firm or if you, have more people and if you have to pay someone. But always, if you have to pay yourself, if you got to pay your tithes and offerings, you have to pay. and you just can't work for free. And trust me, I know, because I've done a lot of work for free. So I'm giving you the game so you don't have to go through the same thing. That's what Jay said. I did that. Hov did that. So you ain't got to go through that. You understand. I think that, what was that, the Black Album? You guys put in the comments if I got that one wrong. But you have to make sure that everything is fair. And it's the same way if a client is expecting you to do something and get some publicity or get something for them, something, and you don't do that. You know, it's all bad. You're not doing what you're supposed to do. And it's a lot of people not doing what they're supposed to do. There's a lot of people taking checks for work that they haven't done. And then they wonder why their businesses aren't growing and flowing. It's like they hit a big lick like a robbery, and then they dissolve because the word has gotten around that people have given you money and nothing has happened. You know, and that's also why you have to make sure when you accept money, you accept the right bag, the right type of money. Because if you're undercutting yourself and it's not that important for you to get results, and you're like, oh, well, it's only this amount of money, and, you know, I'll pay the cell phone bill, I'll pay half of my rent, whatever, but I don't have to give them much. See, that's why you have to get cut. That's why you give PR a bad name in the game. And so, you know, on all these platforms, we're trying to give you the game. Whether you're listening on the Work Break Conversation podcast or the diversifiedgame.com podcast, you know, all these things you can apply, and these are the things you need to look out for. But I really wanted it to be clear. When you need to dissolve that relationship, that breakup, it's how do you break up? You don't do it through a text. You don't do it through an app. You call that person and let them know, no matter what side of the game, and let them know, hey, this isn't working out. These are the reasons why it's not working out. And, you know, either I expected more, but I just can't work like this. You know, do it like you would do a real relationship, especially for y'all singles out there. And I mean singles, not married. Because once you sign that other contract, that's for life. Hey, check your scriptures. You know, if you don't believe me. I know a lot of folks try to twist that and say, well, what if this, what is that? You ain't read your full scriptures. But we'll give you a scripture lesson in another podcast. You know, the Work Break Conversations is always that quick tip that you can go, because I'm seeing a lot of people getting angry with clients, and, you know, talking about them making YouTube videos. Hey, there's no need to make a YouTube video, because if you had a real potential client, for whatever reason it needs to break up, they may need to come back. And if you break it off a certain way, they can come back. You know, a lot of y'all in relationships, y'all done break up to make up all day, but y'all came back. You know, I think every real relationship has gone through that. It's only, you know, those who say, oh, we never argue. And I applaud y'all for those who never argue and, you know, been together 20 years. That's a beautiful thing. You know, please write that book and sell us the formula, because we be arguing up in here, you know, about stuff that, I mean, you know, toilet seats and chairs, just stuff that don't even matter. Like, who cares? Folks would be dead and talking about, man, we had 22 arguments about toilet seats and chairs. Who cares? We had, you know, 22 arguments about, you know, just stupid stuff. In business, I ain't got time to argue. Either you got my money or you don't have my money, because the work is surely going to get done at Coleman Public Relations and Consulting Firm. That's just how we roll. You know, we did this with the goons and the goblins. We don't have time to play around in business like, you know, folks are playing. We're good when we travel. We're good when we talk with our former clients, because we've done the work, you know. And if you need help out there with your marketing, your PR, your social media, and you want serious, straight talk conversation, you know, that no chaser, you send an email. All the description stuff is in the description box, no matter where you're listening to, but you can also schedule some time at www.cprfirm.as.me, and you can either get me or one of my consultants on there. You can even get an influencer of ours on there time to time, to book some time to talk about it. You don't have to have the biggest of budgets, but you gotta have a budget. And we also, have the prices already linked for you, so you don't even have to worry about it. You can see and cop what you can afford. Sometimes you just can get a nick, sometimes you get a dime, sometimes you can go get the whole Carlos Rossi wine, but we definitely want to help you with your needs, and we don't have any of that fluff. I'm not going to tell you how many billions of impressions or, all that good stuff. We're going to talk about you and your business and how it can expand and how we can make that work. And if we can't, we might know someone who can help you make that work, because you got to make sure you're a good fit and that your two crazies match, because sometimes crazies don't match. And it's like, okay, they weren't ready. They weren't ready for us, or we weren't ready for them, and it's always kind of one of these biased things where, hey, we're not ready. They're not ready. They did this, they did that. I'm a realist. I look at results. I look at increase. I look at profit more than anything, but more than think maybe the profit is the purpose of why are we doing this, and is it a good fit? So you hit that cprfirm.as.me link. You want to book some time to talk about your business. We definitely thank everyone for sharing this. We thank everybody who will go to anchor.fm who's listening and will support that with the, just clicking in the right by the description link, that money bag, keep things going. For those of you who join us on Diversified Game at Apple 100 Top Podcasts in a short amount of time, that was a blessing. I'm going to come back and do another video and let you guys know about PodFest 2019. So stay tuned, but I break this up for those of you on the go listening, and we will holler back shortly.